Ishabon Gunnar in the house, back with another transfer news episode, ladies and gentlemen. Today marks the end of the transfer window, and with this, the end of the transfer window, we're going to talk about. Yeah, for what this will be the final video from my end. I'm not going to go for another live, and there's a big reason for that because I think this January window, I don't think so we're going to get anyone. The tops that we can get is probably a 31-year-old left back from Crystal Palace, if possible, but otherwise that's not going to happen. So I think, you know what, it's not worth it to give my 100% of time. But from now on, the content is definitely coming up for that you guys can actually like. So we'll think of it. We'll ponder over it, and definitely I'm going to bring in a more FIFA career mode episodes as well is definitely going to come on this channel. So stay tuned for that. So with that being said, let's just jump into the news that we got here, ladies and gentlemen. The first news that we have here is Achraf Hakimi. You read it right. Inter Milan have seen their cash flow severely affected by the pandemic and were unable to make the first installment of 10 million euros on the 40 million euro transfer of Achraf Hakimi. While Hakimi is happy in Milan, he would be open to a move to England at the end of the season. Strong possibility. Arsenal tracked Hakimi heavily in his youth at Real Madrid, and the scouts recommended the club push to secure him. Hakimi is thought to have featured prominently on their recruitment lists right up until he began excelling at Dortmund and his value rose above £30 million. So yes, Achraf Hakimi to Arsenal is definitely going to happen, but only in the summer. It looks like Inter cannot keep him longer than they expected to keep him. So Arteta in a recent interview has spoken up about Saka and Tierney's availability for tomorrow's game. He says, "We don't know yet if they'll return. Today we've got a training session and they haven't been able to train with us yet. So I think it will be really difficult for them." And talking about Lacazette, Arteta says, "We have to follow the protocols, that we have to test him and make an x-ray. He was completely fine after the game. He was fine yesterday and he has slept well. I'm expecting him to be available." So big news coming up. Lacazette is expected to be available, but Saka and Tierney are still doubtful for the game tomorrow. Well, we got a definite surprise for you guys. But Ali Akman, well, he's been linked with Arsenal. He will join Eintracht Frankfurt next season, according to Giles Grimand. He tweets. Anyways, let's move on. So it looks like Ainsley Maitland-Niles has actually made a blunder for himself because Adam Blackmore tweets out that Southampton have ended their interest in Arsenal's Ainsley Maitland-Niles after becoming increasingly frustrated in negotiations with his representatives. Saints will continue to pursue other targets between now and 11 p.m. Now, Ainsley Maitland-Niles most likely looks like to join West Bromwich Albion on loan. The problem is his agent. Now, the reason why the Southampton deal did not happen is because Ainsley wants to play midfield. Southampton saw him as a fullback. Arsenal didn't want to deal with Leicester. West Brom a big chance to play in his preferred position, show his talent. So West Brom are still open to the move of Ainsley Maitland-Niles. And also, his agent A.D. Ward is actually, if you know the Sterling saga with Liverpool, so yes, he's famous for that. So Maitland-Niles was taking too long and wasn't particularly keen to join the Saints as he would not play in his preferred position. West Brom, Leicester and Newcastle remain interested according to Rebecca TV News and Sky Sports News. London sources says Arsenal are working on one or two signings before 11 p.m. Fullback is Arsenal's priority. Willock is joining Newcastle on loan. Nelson in talks with several clubs in Europe, including English clubs. Maitland-Niles in talks with West Brom, Southampton and Leicester over a loan move. And Schalke are the favourites to land German defender Shkodran Mustafi. Jack Rosser says Hodgson on Arsenal's interest in Patrick Van Aanholt. He says, "I've heard nothing, but if you're asking me if I think he's going to good enough to play for Arsenal, yes, I do. This is where he is contracted and where I expect him to stay." So it looks like Patrick Van Aanholt might stay. But here's a bigger hint why Arsenal might sign a new player. This is what Arsenal posted on their official account. So he's hinting another incoming. I don't know about you guys, because Matty Ryan, Martin Odegaard, that could be another signing. That's what the hint is all about. So let's see if Arsenal are trying to get an incoming in before the transfer deadline. If they can, of course, I'll definitely let you know. But also, according to Vitolo, well, they have ruled out, Reece Nelson joining. So Arsenal's, Vitolo has ruled out joining Villarreal. Arsenal's Reece Nelson name is back on the agenda. So no Vitolo for Villarreal, no Vitolo at all. Reece Nelson might make his way into the plans of Villarreal. Also, let's talk about Shkodran Mustafi. If you can check it out, Shkodran Mustafi, Arsenal are supposed to get some money out of Shkodran Mustafi, and they're going to get 2 million euros. Market value 6 million euros is what is written. So Shkodran Mustafi's move to Schalke is done. He will join on a free transfer with his Arsenal contract about to be terminated, according to Ekner. Yes. So Shkodran Mustafi has reached the agreement with Arsenal to terminate his contract, confirmed. Schalke are set to sign him, according to Fabrizio Romano. And also, here's a big news: the big problems that can actually come up in the upcoming transfers for Joe Willock. It could be a tough deal for Joe Willock to actually enter the things, because information coming in from Turkey that deal for DeAndre Yedlin to Galatasaray being held up due to uncertainty of his net pay. Figures don't match up. It could potentially affect squad space, as they need to move players out before they can bring in players. Willock's loan move could be affected because of this. So DeAndre Yedlin has passed his medical and is waiting for confirmation of his wages. Willock will probably move once that deal has been agreed upon. So Joe Willock, his deal is really in jeopardy, but Reece Nelson is being wanted by Spanish clubs. But moving on, so Mikel Arteta says, probably in the last year, I have spoken to Eddie more than anyone else in my life. That's what my wife says, because of the things we have to go through with coronavirus as well. Transfers, luckily enough, we have a great relationship and a great understanding. So here's a big update from David Ornstein that I'm going to definitely provide it to you. Yeah, I'm sorry, yeah. So Arsenal set to complete a remarkable window of departures, with Mustafi to Schalke, Willock to Newcastle, and Maitland-Niles to West Brom all on track. May go late, but should get done. No more incomings expected, according to David Ornstein. This is exactly where we needed AFC Bell, but okay. No more AFC Bell. No more AFC Bell. So we move on. So ladies and gentlemen, our Capitan is back. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is back, ladies and gentlemen. I am so happy to see this image. I am dang happy to see this image. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is happening. Let's see how things will turn out. So Nacho Monreal shared this on Instagram story last night, playing against his former Arsenal teammate Francis Coquelin in 1-1 draw with Real Sociedad and Villarreal. And he actually posted old friends. Of course, Nacho, super classic Nacho. He's classy as always. So there's no, according to Fabrizio Romano, there's no agreement between Arsenal and Valencia for Reece Nelson. The deal is not happening. Other clubs interested, but he could also stay. Arsenal are still looking for a left back today, according to the deadline day. So according to Fabrizio Romano, what am I even doing? Okay, according to Fabrizio Romano, also huge chances for Nelson to stay at Arsenal. He's not joining Valencia, confirmed. Maitland-Niles is set to sign for West Bromwich Albion. The agreement will be completed in the coming hours. Medical spending, according to Fabrizio Romano. So big game coming up, big deals coming up. But things are definitely not looking as if. Let me know in the comments, do you guys really want Reece Nelson out? Or what about Ainsley Maitland-Niles? Do you really think that Ainsley is not the kind of player that we are looking at the moment? But it looks like we don't have the proper system to actually get it done. So yeah, things looks really different. But Brighton are pulling off some really awesome things. But let's see. Also, David Ornstein confirms it with another time, saying that no more incomings are expected at Arsenal in the transfer window again. And as reported, Mark Bryans tweets out about Ainsley. He says, Maitland-Niles to West Brom is on. Southampton pulled out earlier today, but a loan move to the Hawthorns now looks imminent for the England international. It's all because of England international things. And by the way, for those of you who don't know, why is Mustafi being signed by, of course, the one and only Schalke? It's because Liverpool have signed Ozan Kabak. Yes, Ozan Kabak. We all know what was happening, what everything was wrong. But Ozan Kabak is their centre back. They're also getting another centre back as well. So with that, I think Liverpool are definitely making things happen. So also, Miss Emma Payton actually says on Mustafi, she says, Sky in Germany say he's close to a 6-month permanent deal to Schalke, and that is all because of Ozan Kabak going to Liverpool. We all know about the Monday motivation on Twitter and Instagram, but hashtag Mustafi Monday is doing the rounds at the minute. This is the latest update that she says. She also says Arteta and Edu had a meeting with Ainsley, a 20-minute meeting at the club's training ground today. Maitland-Niles said to them, I want to leave, I want to get minutes. He really wants to be in Gareth Southgate's thoughts for the Euros. So she said, we understand. Arteta and Edu said to Ainsley, says, we understand you can leave on loan. We are fine with that, but we don't want you and are reluctant for you to join a Premier League rival. So one of those interested clubs was Leicester, and this is the Premier League rival they're talking about. Newcastle have approached Arsenal over taking Joe Willock on loan for the rest of the season today. West Brom Albion, okay, again, that's the same thing. So that is it, ladies and gentlemen. With this, I end this episode, and with this, I think by tomorrow, the transfer window will be off, closed, done, shut. And the outgoings and incomings, I don't know. In my personal opinion, I don't think so. Arsenal are going to get any incoming. It's too late. I don't think so. They're not even linked with anyone, and we don't have AFC Bell to help us out in this situation. So with this, we end this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Consider subscribing. Cheers.